Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it goes. Free your mind.
You are listening to Bras, Panties and Sports. This is DizzieMac and Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk. Our panel includes Joe, Midas Mind of YourProsperityInsights.com, and Andre Ramirez, the Internet's top handicapper at Extreme Sports Picks. First Lady, it's the holiday season. I love it. And I'm ready to hear from you and the crew. So please, start it off with what you saying.
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie known as Johnny Manziel might wish he could fly far away from the train wreck of his first NFL start. Did the Browns make a bad move starting Johnny in the midst of a desperation run for the playoffs? Will Johnny rebound and be the spark for realizing and respecting what it takes to be a winner in the NFL? Did Johnny simply need a Snickers? Jim Brown, Bernie Kosar, the Dog Pound, and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Well, I think most people are probably saying that Johnny Manziel did not show that he was a first-round draft pick in his first NFL start. I mean, first of all, he was placed in a difficult situation, as far as I'm concerned, because they were in the middle of a playoff run, and he probably should have been given a chance several weeks before then. I mean, Johnny Football obviously did not look like a first-round pick, but I have confidence that Johnny Football is the real deal. He was horrible. We can't take that away. He was horrible. But so was the rest of the Cleveland Browns team. I mean, the offense and the defense. The offense line was not in protective mode for Johnny Football. His receivers weren't open. Johnny should have ran the ball more than when he was throwing. He had some horrible interceptions. I mean, some of them was really ridiculous. Try to force it in. Cleveland's defense allowed the Bengals to run through them. I mean, it was ridiculous. So it wasn't all about Johnny Football why the Browns lost. But I think he should be in the game this week because Browns management would look like fools to replace him at this point. They would look like fools. They put him in there for a reason. So they need to continue to see what the Johnny Manziel project would look like. And, yeah, Johnny definitely needs a Snicker so he can be himself. DizzieMac, I know you're a Johnny Manziel fan, so what are you thinking about this situation?
First Lady, the person who should have got a Snickers was the coach because he was acting like he didn't know what the hell he was doing putting Johnny Manziel in there as a starting quarterback. After you rode all this way with Brian Hoyer, somebody should have gave him a Snickers, get his mind right. Because he was obviously hungry for something that did not satisfy the fans' taste buds. Woo! Horrible. I mean, tough sled in that first game. I understand, but you should have just let Brian Hoyer just finish the season. It wouldn't have been a mistake to let Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, just sit on the sidelines and learn, watch, observe, do all the things necessary to learn his craft. Don't throw him in there. Don't feel the pressure. People talk about peer pressure. Don't feel the pressure. I don't know.
I don't know, John. I think it mainly was probably the management. You think it was more the coach, DizzieMac? You said it was the coach. I really thought it was the management that probably pressured the coach to do
that.
I
would have just told him he's not ready. He's not ready right now. We have a chance with Brian Hoyer. I mean, so if it was the coach, management, one of them, all of them should have got a Snickers because they should have just been able to just snap back and get their mind right. I don't know. That's why the dog pound be biting, throwing milk bones and stuff at people.
Okay, let's go to Joe. Let's go on to Joe. Joe, what do you think about this situation? Should Johnny Manziel have been put into that predicament?
First Lady, honestly, I believe Johnny Manziel was sabotaged. He was put into that predicament because they needed to find some kind of answer. They could see that they weren't going to get there with Brian Horton. And you just drafted a loudmouth, wild-haired Texas boy, and hopefully you're going to find a spark. But unfortunately, Johnny Manziel didn't fail. The Cleveland Browns failed in every single phase of the game. Every single phase of the game. And I'm asking you, does that tell us that the locker room was not behind Johnny Manziel? Because there was not 3 seconds to throw the ball. There was not time for him to do anything. Now, I do understand that Johnny looks at his first receiver, and then, if he's not open, he tries to run. Well, guess what, son? This ain't Texas A&M, and the speed of the game is faster up here. And you ain't fast enough to do that. So, he's got to make 2 or 3 reads before he takes a large open space. And he's making 1 read, trying to go for it, and he's going nowhere with that. But that's not his fault. Is he intuitive? Yes. Can he do something extraordinary in the future? Yes. Quarterbacks like Troy Aikman or Tom Terrific or Peyton Manning or John Elway, they had starts that were this bad. It didn't mean that was the end of the career. But for this season, yeah, First Lady, that's the end of this season.
That's it. So I guess you saying that he shouldn't start this week is what you're trying to say. So
no, he should. You can't back up now. It's just like you said. Now you can't back up. But
exactly.
The fans in Cleveland should not be disheartened. But can he come out here and be a wild-haired Brett Favre for the next 2 or 3 or 4 years as he develops? Yeah, he can. Yeah. But this season is over.
It is over, so give the whole team a Snickers. All right, over to you, DizzieMac.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my tears, putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go, boom. Explosion, overpowered, over the competition. I'm towering, reconciled when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare me to the breast that all gets you sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm going to knock you out. Huh? Mama said knock you out. Huh? We're not talking about Eminem, Dr. Dre, or Eazy-E. We're talking about the knockout punch from the 49ers on Ray McDowell amid a rape allegation continuing a disturbing pattern. Is this the case of a serial rapist currently playing in the NFL, while an ex-NFL player is being prosecuted as a serial rapist? Instead of lions and tigers and bears, oh my, it seems to be murderers and rapists and white beaters galore. Pop Warner, Walter Payton, and Gentleman Jack are asking, what you saying? Wow. Well, you act like a rapist, you're going to get treated like a rapist. You're not going to be in the league. Hey, I stand up and applaud the 49ers for doing what was right. They took a chance. They gave you a chance, and you failed. Although it's an allegation, but you put yourself in a position. It is seemingly like bad behavior is running rampant in the league. What is going on? I don't know. Some people say CTE. Concussions, depression, a lifestyle, whatever it is, the NFL, Roger Goodell has got to clean it up. But the 49ers did the right thing. Ray McDonald, hey, God bless you. I hope you end up well, but it doesn't look like it's going to be an easy road. Anybody else in the NFL? They're not playing, gentlemen. They're not playing. Personal conduct is the word of the day in the NFL. You have to be on your P's and Q's to stay out of trouble. I don't know. First Lady, it is a pattern, a sad pattern.
Oh, well, of course. But the San Francisco 49ers on and off the field have been a calamity of errors this year. When Ray McDonald was being investigated in September for domestic violence, the 49ers did not suspend him because they felt he deserved due process. But now, DizzieMac, he's being investigated for sexual abuse, and they have decided to release him. So obviously the 49ers have set themselves up for scrutiny regarding their decisions. However, to me, in this situation, I think the 49ers were correct. They got it correct to release him because all the reports are saying that GM Balky told Ray McDonald that he was on a short leash regarding his behavior off the field. He was warned regarding any further legal issues, and they had a zero tolerance to him having any further issues with the law. So, I mean, let's face it. Like you said, DizzieMac, I mean, he brought this upon himself. He brought embarrassment to himself, embarrassment to the team. It was time for the 49ers to cut their ties with Ray McDonald and move on. So, I mean, I don't have any fault what they did, but they're going to be up to scrutiny because of the fact that they didn't do anything the first time around, even though he was not found guilty of domestic violence. But it's just too many issues with Ray McDonald. And it's just bringing too much publicity to the San Francisco 49ers, and they don't need that. So he's not worth it at this point. So I think they did the right thing, DizzieMac.
True. Joe, Midas, mine. I mean, what you thinking, man? I know you got your red hat on over there counting money with the Shimmy Shake girls, but what's happening?
DizzieMac. The San Francisco 49ers knew this man was a one and beat away back in September. They knew. They knew. I mean, he tried to have his way. He couldn't have his way. He smashed around a little bit. And for topside humiliation, he went ahead and put her head between the toilet bowl and the lid and slammed it a couple of times. And that wasn't out to make San Francisco say, whoa, we better step back and look. They started asking for due process. Of course, they had a first game coming up with the Cowboys in which Ray McDonald needed to play. And there was still a chance at the playoffs at that time. There's still a chance at big money. But this particular time, they've lost the last few games. They're out of the playoffs. Ray can't help us anymore. We better wax morale. We better wax into ethic. We now need to make the public feel like we won't have this on our team. Especially since the team can't go nowhere anyway.
Can't go nowhere.
Please, bro.
Can't go nowhere. And all of a sudden, after all of the turmoil we've had in the NFL, the 49ers get a moral ethic. Give me a break. Did they finally make the right decision? Yeah. Once you run into the alley and you find out there's no way out and you're in a corner, that gets pretty easy. First Lady, please take us to break.
Okay. Coming up next on Shout Out, we will hear from LACHI on the first part of Shout Out.
Read Mr. Bond.
Another day, another restless night, crying myself to sleep. Another day of relentless phone calls from credit card companies demanding payment. Another day wondering if filing bankruptcy or getting one of those debt consolidation loans is the only way to go. A friend said, stop crying. Just call Sharon, the debt destroyer. Sharon and her team of experts work hard to help you eliminate your credit card debt. and get you and your credit back on track. No bankruptcy, no loans, your credit card debt eliminated. I called Sharon, and her team of experts went right to work with a plan that made sense. I am sleeping peacefully knowing my credit card debt is being destroyed and my credit is getting back on track. Have your credit card debt destroyed and get a good night's sleep? Contact Sharon, the Debt Destroyer, at yourdebtdestroyed.com or call 888-431-2829, extension 2.
The music flows in from around the globe. To get a shout out from the panel, First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from LACHI.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. Today we are featuring new music from Nigerian-born LACHI out of New York, New York, from the album It's Our Time. All right, let's hear that title track. It's Our Time. Hit it, DJ. All right, go ahead and rule the world. That was LACHI. It's our time. Wow. I want to start off. That was excellent. I really was feeling the music from LACHI. Very nice vocals, the music, and her rapping was exceptional. Excellent track. Definitely going to shout that out. Ronnie B, what do you think of LACHI?
Hey, why are we waiting on ruling the world? Look, DizzieMac, tell them to get those bearskin rugs clean. We got some work to do. I'm giving a shout out. I love it when artists do their thing. You know, she's not trying to be hip hop or this or that. She's doing her thing. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, Joe, what did you think of LACHI?
First Lady, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, just by faith. What she was saying, the lyric in that is what's going down. Yeah, I love it, because we about to take our turn. Shout it out.
All right, shout it out, LACHI. So we'll hear more from LACHI on part 2 of Shout Out. And the music is flowing, and I hear a sound of my favorite, Underwater Friend. Is it time for Flip It?
Yes, it is time for Flip It, where our defend a point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. The QB Whisperer, a.k.a. Mark Trestman, failed to get the best from Jay Cutler and the Bears, have benched Jay and act like they're ready to take a, $30 million hit? We asked the panel to defend. Unless you are Tony Romo, no playoff wins because you have been in Chicago equal out of here. Midas mind defend.
Running B is an evil question. It really is. Let me say this. Tony Romo does have one playoff win. Okay, one. It's just one, but it's one. But
Tony Romo won. Jay Cutler knew.
Jay Cutler is under the tutelage of Mark Trestman, the new coach of the Chicago Bears. And this man was brought in here to be a genius. And after he came in, the Bears decided to give Cutler all this money. In fact, they made him the highest paid quarterback in the league. Is that crazy? With Peyton Manning out there, with Tom Terrific out there, with Andrew Luck out there, somebody decided to give Jay Cutler more money than anybody else? What? A $30 million hit on a $121 million contract? Here's the least we can do. Get him the hell up out of here. The truth is, we have a bargain. If we get rid of Cutler right now, what a bargain it is. And Mark Trestman, did he get the best from Jay Cutler? Yeah, he got the best from Jay Cutler. That's all Jay Cutler got. But get him up out of here, too, for thinking he could do more than that. It is Jay's fault. And yeah, he got a lousy defense, but get him up out of here.
Okay, well, we heard the defense. Get him out of here. First Lady?
When Jay Cutler was signed to his ridiculous contract, it was obvious that he would never live up to this contract. If there was one quarterback that had more errors than Tony Romo, it is Jay Cutler. He has done absolutely nothing to deserve to be the highest paid quarterback. Jay Cutler had one good year in Chicago. He is mediocre. He is not a leader. He is arrogant, and he is a divisive person in the locker room. The Bears need to get him out of here. They need to try to trade him. If there are no takers, then flat out release him and eat the money. But the Bears need to rid themselves of a loser.
Well, you heard First Lady, and Jay Cutler got to go. Jay Cutler has four top receivers if you count the halfback coming out the backfield. That you can't hit none of them, you know.
That's real. That's real.
And somebody compared him to Brett Favre. But the difference is Brett Favre won playoff games, won the divisions, and at least he got to lose a Super Bowl. That's the winning one.
Brett Favre or Brett Fart?
Favre. I know we hate to admit it, but all them years Brett Favre whooped Bear Butt, and Jay Cutler can't whoop the Packers once. Out of here. Out of here. Now you know that we do have to flip the script. After those passing defenses, we're asking the panel to defend. It ain't Jay's fault. It ain't Jay's fault. They have a lousy defense. Jay's fault. Kick the GM and coach to the curb. It ain't Jay's fault. Keep Jay and get a defensive ground and pound coach like a Rex Ryan. Panel, defend. Midas mind. Keep Jay and get a defensive ground and pound coach like Rex Ryan. Defend.
Ronnie B., when Lovie Smith was in Chicago, there was a defense in Chicago. Jay Cutler could make a mistake here or there, and the defense could get it back. You see, numerous Super Bowls have been won with average to even below average quarterbacks. It is about the team. It's not just about the quarterback. But all of a sudden, the GM has brought in Mark Trestman. Trestman is in here, supposedly an offensive genius with a mediocre quarterback. Well, Jay didn't create that situation. The GM created that situation. And so, 2 years after Urlacher is gone, the defense is totally depleted. This is not what we know of the Chicago Bears. We know of the Chicago Bears as a team that has special teams that score on you, defenses that score on you, defenses that sack and intimidate you, and an offense that is never superpowered but efficient enough to win games and get deep into the playoffs. That's just not the case. Now we have no offense and no defense. Thank you, GM. But Jay didn't have anything to do with that. Jay Cutler is not responsible for the record this year. Excuse me, Ronnie, but I now need to go take a shower.
It ain't all his fault. First Lady defense.
It's not Jay's fault that the Chicago management paid him to be the highest paid quarterback. The Bears need a new philosophy, meaning new GM and coach. They need to bring back the glory days of being a defensive team. The Bears' defense is putrid, and they are ranked in the bottom 5 for 6 defensive categories. And the 3 main ones are 30th in yards per game allowed at 382.5, 31st in pass yards per game allowed, 272.2, and dead last in points allowed per game, 29.2. How can you win games with that type of defense? And the next thing the Bears need to do, they have to reincarnate Walter Payton. They only have 1,298 rushing yards thus far, and they average 91 rushes per game. This is why Jay Cutler is horrible. He is always put in a passing situation that allows him to make more errors. The Bears need to rethink, retool with better management.
It ain't Jay's fault. It ain't Jay's fault. First Lady, hey, like I said, this is Flip It, and when you ask to pass 600 times versus 400 times, your chance of error does go up proportionally. And with a great defense, they'll cover up a lot of the mistakes. It ain't Jay's fault, but we're gonna ask First Lady and Midas Mind to chime in on, should the Bears go after Rex Ryan? Midas Mind, your view.
Absolutely. The Bears should go after Rex Ryan. I know he's been a failure with the Jets. I got it. But he brings Chicago back to its own identity. Defense. The offense always works its way out. Whatever you need to do to get rid of Jay Cutler and Mark Trestman, let's do it. As long as we can have Rex Ryan without Geno.
well, First Lady, your view on should the Bears go after Rex Ryan?
I don't think they should go after Rex Ryan as the coach. Maybe they can go after Rex Ryan as a defensive coordinator, because I'm sorry, going after Rex Ryan as a coach, you're going to have the same situation that you're going to have in New York. You'll have a good defensive team, but they just can't get anything else done with the offense. So I don't think Rex Ryan is the answer. I think he is the answer if he's only a defensive coordinator. Sorry, Rex.
Okay, all right, okay. I can't really say that Rex Ryan was a losing coach. I mean, I'd say that he came out like a rocket, and because Jets weren't doing nothing, and he had a run. If he had got out, or if they had kicked him out like the 49ers, he would have landed an immediate new coaching position and might have done better. So, that's the
That's who they need to go after. They need to go after Harbaugh and not let him go to Michigan. Harbaugh wants to stay in the pros. The Bears need to go after Harbaugh.
I think he would make a better coach than Rex Ryan for the Bears.
Yeah, he would, but he wants to. His wife said, "Stay out west," and brothers, do what your wife say.
Yeah, Oakland is on his radar. Oakland.
Yeah, do what the wife say. Wife happy. Look, forget that $48 million. Because you don't have wife happy, you ain't gonna have that $48 million long, brother. Do what wife say. Keep wife happy. All right, Midas Mind, take us to break.
Stay tuned. Up next, the funnies and our favorite underwater friend on Flip It Part 2.
Credit card debt was kicking my butt. Filing for bankruptcy was not for me. I spoke with those debt consolidation people who only wanted me to keep the debt I had for what seemed like a century. A friend said, "Your debt destroyed." I said, "What?" They said, "Your debt destroyed." They said, "Contact Sharon at Your Debt Destroyed and let her team of experts eliminate your debt while building up your credit worthiness." I contacted Sharon, and she put her team to work to destroy my debt with a plan that was easy to follow and gave me and my family peace of mind. Don't consolidate your debt, eliminate your debt. Contact Sharon at yourdebtdestroyed.com or call her at 888-431-2829, extension 2.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for the funnies. Midas mine. Over to you.
Thank you, Ronnie B. And this is some real monkey business. First lady, who could forget the famous line, "Don't tase me, bro"? Well, apparently a mischievous monkey had to be brought down after becoming aggressive after living on Kinder chocolates for several weeks. The monkey had wreaked havoc at several schools and scratched children, but the primate always managed to elude police. This monkey just running wild. The monkey was tased, and French police are opening an investigation to find the owner. Kinder must be a mean, not a kinder chocolate.
what they got in them Kinder chocolates, boy. My man, the monkey going off, you know. And
going wild.
And they need like some Adderall or something to calm him. Hyperactive monkey, okay.
No monkeys or bears were injured in the production of today's show. DizzieMac had to perform on another show, so he'll be back next week. He says Merry Christmas to everybody, and he said he wanted to make sure that to remember to stop at the zoo and give a gift to your favorite bear for Christmas.
Well, God's done and water is splashing on you. It must be time for our favorite underwater friend. It's time for Flip It.
Yep. Time for Flip It, where our hosts defend a point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. Wow. Rajon Rondo is now a Maverick, and all bets might be off in the West. Panel defend. Houston, you have a problem, along with the rest of the NBA West. A new sheriff is in town, and his name is Rajon. The Mavericks will win the West. Midas mine, defend.
You know it's going down. Oh, y'all know it's going down. Welcome to Dallas, baby. Yeah, that's right. From the Boston Celtics. You remember that young kid that went into the Big Three and really outshined the Big Three? He's coming to the Big D. Forget the Big Three. He's coming to the Big D. That's right. And the highest scoring offense in the NBA now gets the best facilitator in the NBA and somebody who can play point guard defense. The Mavericks was out here with a willy-nilly point guard, but still outscoring everybody in the land. When they had to go up against Stephen Curry, when they had to go up against Tony Parker, when they had to go up against every Western Conference point guard, which is an all-star. We got people running around in the West who's making you consider, maybe the scoring leader is not the best player in Oklahoma City. At first we're mad, and then we have to think back. And the Mavericks were rolling out a team that could outscore everybody, but no dominant point guard? Well, it's time to turn this game up. And I noticed that in Vegas, the Mavericks' chance of winning the NBA title was 16-1, and as soon as Rajon Rondo was announced, they were 8-1. It's on.
Raisin. The sheriff's near. The sheriff's near. First Lady. We got a new sheriff in town. The Mavericks will win the West. The fan.
With Rajon Rondo joining the Mavericks, the West has a problem. Definitely the Dallas Mavericks are the team to beat in the West. The Mavs are already one of the top teams in the West before Rondo, but adding Rondo, come on now. This man is a champion and a winner. Rondo will bring two aspects to the Mavs. He can run the offense. He leads the league in assists with 10 per game. Also, he is one of the better defensive-oriented guards. He leads all guards in rebounds, and he is 10th in the league with steals. Rajon Rondo can dominate a game without scoring points, and this is what the Mavs need because they have plenty of weapons, and Rondo will find them. Rondo is the embodiment of a true point guard, and he'll match up with all the great point guards in the West. He will be the man, and he is what the Mavs need to not just get to the NBA Finals, but to win the NBA Finals.
Yep.
All right. The sheriff's near. The sheriff's near. Well, we're going to flip the script. We're asking the panel to defend. Rajon brings the Mavs another weapon that will have them go deep in the playoffs, but they will still come a little short of winning the West. Midas mind defend. We had Midas mind on the defense.
He's speechless.
Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. That was I have my.
Oh, a technical glitch there. Okay, all right. Well, go ahead and
Rajon Rondo is an incredible player, but he's a player that needs the ball in his hands a whole lot of time. And the Mavericks is a motion offense. You move, you spot, you shoot, and it's fast. And we got one ball hog on the team already in Dallas. Monte Ellis has come into his own because he drives the basket. He breaks through the traps. He cuts around the screen and makes the drive. Well, all of a sudden, there's two of these guys on the floor that need to take up most of the shot clock. We're going to have to see if this really works out because Rajon is known to have attitude. Now, is he going to have to pimp slap Monte Ellis? Or are we going to find some kind of resolution? This could be a formula for destruction.
Could be a formula for destruction. First Lady, Rajon does bring another weapon, but the Mavericks will still come up short in winning the West. Go Spurs!
Well, Joe, I think you and I are on the same page regarding this situation with Rajon Rondo because, Rajon Rondo definitely propelled the Dallas Mavericks to one of the best in the West. However, he comes with a lot of baggage because he is considered to be disrupted on the court and disrupted in the locker room. In order for the Mavs to win the West, their team chemistry must be clicking on all cylinders. And I'm not sure if this will work with Rondo. Just ask Ray Allen, because there were definitely issues with him holding on the ball too much and not dividing the ball time with other players. So for this reason, the Mavs will fizzle out during the playoffs and come up short like they have in the past.
Ooh, boo.
Well, you heard some great defenses this week on Flip It. And let me tell y'all, the Midas Mind with his red Kangol with the white trim. Let me tell you, that other guy ain't got nothing on him. and you know, the Midas man ain't standing under no mistletoe. He got a bow of honey.
That'll get you kissed, baby.
All right, and with that, First Lady, please take us to break.
On the other side of the break, we have another performance from LACHI on Shout Out. Please stay tuned.
They say, stop creditors from harassing you. Consolidate your credit card debt into a loan. They say, stop those annoying calls. Simply file bankruptcy. They don't say, consolidating credit card debt into a loan keeps you paying on that debt for years and more years with interest. They don't say, file for bankruptcy and say no to a car loan, no to a mortgage for up to 11 years. Don't file bankruptcy and ruin your credit for years. Don't get a consolidation loan and pay years and years. Get your credit card debt destroyed. Call Sharon, the debt destroyer. Sharon and her team of experts work hard to help you eliminate your credit card debt and get you and your credit back on track. No bankruptcy, no loans, your credit card debt eliminated. Have your credit card debt destroyed. Contact Sharon, the debt destroyer, at yourdebtdestroyed.com or call 888-431-2829, extension 2.
You are listening to Bras, Panties and Sports. It's time for Shout Out Part 2, the picks and the finale. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout out from the First Lady and the crew. Over to you.
We have another performance from LACHI. DJ, let's hear the track, You're Faithful.
I have no reason to ever lie to you. You are the reason I live the life I do. So give me one reason I shouldn't carry you, 'cause you can't wait for life too, and you can't wait for rest, 'cause I would do anything for you. I would do anything for you. I'll be your faithful. I'll be your faithful. I would do anything for you. I would do anything for you. I'll be your faithful. I'll be your faithful. Please take my hand, it's open wide. I have no weapons. I come to you unarmed with no distractions. No talisman, no charms. Answer me one question, please, and do not be alarmed. Do you trust my intentions? 'Cause it do mean you no harm. 'Cause I would do anything for you. I would do anything for you. I'll be your faithful. I'll be your faithful. I would do anything for you. I would do anything for you. I'll be
That's LACHI, your faithful. I think at one point of a woman's life, she's at that point where she will do anything for her man. So I can understand where LACHI was coming from. I'm going to give that song a shout out just because of the words. And it was a little different pace than the first one. That was a little bit more pop-ish to me, but I still enjoyed the lyrics to it. Ronnie B., what do you think of your faithful?
And hey, as long as it's the right one, I'm with. Shout out.
Okay, Joe, what do you think about your faithful?
LACHI, to me, sounds so similar to Sade. And I love the lyric, and I love the smoothness of her voice. I don't mind the pop at all. I just think that that's the kind of music we need going in the community to wake people up. And honestly, whether you gangster or boule, if you got a woman that's going to get down for you like that, you in love with it. You can't help yourself.
Okay, Drew. All right. That's the other shout out. If you like what you heard from LACHI, check her out at LACHImusic.com, and she spells it LACHI music.com. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, you can send your emails and tracks to panties@oldgrumpyradio.com. It is time for the picks. Ladies and gentlemen, week 15 was a rough week for everyone. Believe it or not, Joe, you had the best week. But guess what?
Hey!
Everybody had negative numbers. But anyway, Joe, you had a -6. Andre had a -8. DizzieMac and me, we had both -12. So our totals thus far, DizzieMac is at 69, Andre is at 67, I have 45 points, and Joe, you bring it up the rear with 19. So we're getting really tight with totals. Okay, well, we're getting really tight now, and we're coming down to the last 2 weeks of the regular season. So let's get to the Week 16 picks. We have Chargers versus 49ers. Well, DizzieMac did give us his picks. He's going with the 49ers. And I'm going to go with the 49ers also because this is a game of pride. So that's why I think the 49ers are going to win. Joe, who do you have?
Chargers.
Okay, you're going with the Chargers. Yeah, they're still trying to get in that playoff.
First lady, since Andre didn't send in his picks, I'll go ahead and pick for Andre, and he goes with the Chargers.
All right, so Andre is going with the Chargers by way of Ronnie B. The Chiefs versus the Steelers. DizzieMac has the Steelers, and I have the Steelers also. But I really think this is going to be the best game of the entire week because both these teams are still positioning for playoff. Joe, who do you have?
Steelers.
Steelers. And Ronnie B for Andre?
Steelers.
Okay, Steelers. The Colts versus the Cowboys. Oh, my goodness. This is a good game, too. This is a toss-up. I'm still waiting for that accident to happen for the Cowboys. But I am going to pick the Cowboys to win because the Colts have already clinched their division. So they're not they're not going to be that aggressive. DizzieMac, now, he has a different feeling. He's going with the Colts. Ronnie B, who are you picking for Andre?
Colts.
You got the Colts. And Joe, who do you have? Well, I don't need to ask, right? How about the Cowboys?
Look, First Lady, I saw you pick the Cowboys and give a disclaimer. See, that's just wrong. Okay, but look, I still think their accident ready to happen. It may be this week, but anyway, I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna roll with them because they look awesome against the Philadelphia Eagles.
If the Cowboys were on the road against the Colts, go with the Cowboys. But at Jerry's World, They're a fitty team.
Yeah, okay, that's the philosophy. Anyway, let's move on to the Seahawks versus the Cardinals. Seahawks are still playing for position. Arizona's already clinched their division. I am going to go with the Seahawks. DizzieMac, he went with the Seahawks also. And, Joe, who do you have?
Seahawks.
And you're picking for Andre, Ronnie B, who do you have?
Well, this is a tougher game. I mean, you have a rookie quarterback going against the Seahawks and a Cardinals defense that could actually trip up Mr. Wilson. And I'm going to go with the Boys.
Okay, you went with the Birds. Okay.
The Redbirds, the Cardinals.
Redbirds, Cardinals for Andre. All right, moving to the next game, Broncos versus the Bengals. Ooh, the Bengals looked good last week. They jumped all over the Cleveland Browns. I think the Broncos, if I'm not mistaken, they're trying to play for the best record. So I'm going to go with the Broncos on the road. DizzieMac is going with the Bengals. Joe, who do you have?
Bengals.
Okay, you have the Bengals. And Andre has what, Ronnie B?
Just even a Broncos team that is adjusting themselves to being a power team and a defense. I trust them over Andy Dalton.
See, that's me.
Big time Andy Dalton. Yeah. Broncos.
So you go with the Broncos. Okay. I'm hearing because I believe in that too. I don't know where DizzieMac is. And Joe, you got the Bengals also too? I mean, come on now.
Well, I don't think the Broncos have anything more to play for, and the Bengals still fighting, you know.
They still got to play. Okay. All right. Browns versus the Panthers. Question is, Johnny Manziel will be playing, and Cam Newton is returning from his injuries? Or did he play? No, he didn't play last week, right?
He's returning. He's returning from his injury.
Yeah, he's returning from his injury. So this one is a tough one. I mean, the Panthers, I believe they're still in the chase, to actually win the division, the NFC South, which is a sad division. But I'm going to pick the Panthers. DizzieMac is also picking the Panthers. Who do you have, Joe?
I've got to pick the Browns. I'm so far behind, I can't pick the same as you guys.
So you got to have a couple. I hear you got to have a couple of upsets. All right.
Got to have a couple of upsets. I know you're right about that. Anyway, so Andre is picking what? Ronnie B.
This is a tough one because the Browns are a little unpredictable. But last week it wasn't a Johnny Manziel loss as much as it was I think the team has lost it with the coach. Yeah, a lot of teammates didn't put their hand out to Johnny, but Johnny got put in that position. So I think the coach is gone. So and the team know it. So now Ron Rivera might be gone too, but they like him.
So who's
I'm going with Cam Newton and the Panthers.
Okay, the Panthers for Andre. Okay, let's get to our upset game of the week. If we win, we get 15 extra points to our total win. If we lose 5 points off our total win. And this time we got a little twist. The producers have given us 3 games we get to choose. The Packers versus the Buccaneers. So I'm assuming you're going with the Buccaneers over the Packers, or the Jets over the Patriots, or the Raiders over the Bills. Well, DizzieMac and I'm going to go with the Raiders over the Bills, and DizzieMac also, like I said, is going with the Raiders over the Bills. Joe, who are you going with?
First Lady, first of all, this is the evil trap to make me have 0 points at the end of the year because none of these upsets are going to happen. but I'll go with the Raiders versus the Bills.
He said nothing. Hey, well, you know what? The Jets could beat the Patriots, depending if they rest their players. You never know.
Nah.
The players. Nah, not happening. All right. Ronnie B., what is your pick for Andre?
Buccaneers.
I know, because the Packers have really not been playing that well the last couple of games. So we got the Buccaneers over the Packers.
The Buccaneers.
All right, let's go to the quarterback special bonus. Which quarterback will have the most interceptions? If you select the correct quarterback, a 25-point bonus, and no one has been able to win that bonus. And Ronnie B., you were on point last week with Johnny Manziel because he had 2. And we should have picked him. I don't know what we were thinking. But anyway, if you lose 10 points off your total. So we're going to put Johnny Manziel back in there again, along with Eli Manning and, yes, Tony Romo. DizzieMac is going to go with Johnny Manziel. I'm going to go with Eli Manning. So, who do you have?
I'm going to go with Eli Manning, and I want to put a quick shot in there that audience, if we had not been limited to 3 games, I would have picked RG3 to come back and upset the Philadelphia Eagles this week, but instead I'm going to lose these 15 points. So if I end up with a 0, it's not my fault.
Okay, now you're talking about a disclaimer there. You try to say that the producers are making it difficult for you. Okay, but anyway, you're going to go with Eli Manning. And Ronnie B., who are you picking for Andre?
Johnny Manziel.
Oh, Johnny Manziel. Okay, y'all going to think he might surprise you. All right. Before we go, it's time to find out what we missed this week. Joe, what did you miss this week? And if you didn't miss any money, I know you missed something. So what is it?
I missed the media having a proper take on Ray McDonald's suspension. I was really abhorred that San Francisco got so much praise for finally letting a guy go who, had a history of smashing people around. And I think we need to do some blood tests and look into how many of these guys are on steroids, which makes them over-aggressive.
That's a thought. Maybe that's a flip it question. Okay. Ronnie B., you want to jump in this? What did you miss this week?
I missed allegedly Floyd Mayweather saying the fight was on.
Oh, you missed that. Well, look, I missed something else regarding Floyd Mayweather. You know that he got into trouble over the weekend, over this week at Saks Fifth Avenue. It seemed to me that he had to use the bathroom, and the young lady at Saks would not allow him to use the bathroom, even though his entourage had already previously used his private bathroom. Well, Floyd got a little bit upset and called the woman the B word and a whore. And then she called the police. But what I missed, I don't think he got arrested. But, Floyd has a way of always finding trouble. Until next week, this has been Cheryl Smith and the crew, and you have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports.
Yeah.